All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the New York Giants once again because we're getting really good news about this team, and I just still think it's written in the stars that they're going to be drafting Shedeur Sanders at whether it's number 3 or number 1 or number 2. I think Shedeur Sanders will be a New York Giant. But just before we get into all that fun draft stuff, one thing I thought was really awesome was Adam Schefter reporting on the Giants at number 3, because apparently the Giants are one of the couple of teams that are interested in trading with the Los Angeles Rams for Matthew Stafford. But finally, ESPN's Adam Schefter reported that if LA is looking for a first rounder for 37-year-old Matthew Stafford, it's not coming from the Giants. And he said this quote, "Let me be very clear. That pick is not in the conversation if Matthew Stafford and the Rams can't get a deal worked out, and if Matthew Stafford becomes available and all of a sudden the Giants surface as a contender. If all those things happen, there is no way in hell that the Giants are giving up the 3rd overall pick for Matthew Stafford. Zero. And this is what I keep thinking about, where it's like, I'll read a mock draft and the Tennessee Titans, or you'll just read like scenarios, and you'll see like the Tennessee Titans, pick number 1, they go for Travis Hunter, and then they sign a veteran quarterback like Aaron Rodgers or trade for Matthew Stafford. And I read it and I'm like, why? Why on earth would you do that? You have the number 1 overall pick. And then I'll read a mock draft for the Giants and it's like, all right, they're taking Travis Hunter at pick number 3. All right, word. I can get behind that enough. We'll see what they do at the quarterback position. The point just is, unless you're like the Raiders at pick number 6 and Shedeur's not going to be available or Cam Ward's not going to be available, if you're the New York Giants, you got to get your guy. Whether it's Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, this is a 3-14 football team. There's not much to look forward to next year in the sense of, oh, we got to keep this winning window open. Right? We got to prolong this winning window. So to me, the dream scenario for the New York Giants is literally just drafting Mr. Shedeur Sanders. But folks, before we get any further into today's video, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. We're posting a ton of Giants videos right now. You guys really like them. I really appreciate your guys' support. Seriously means the absolute world to me. Try and get this video to 100 likes would mean the absolute world to me. So the Giants obviously hold the number 3 overall draft pick, and they are expected to make a play for one of the top quarterbacks in this year's class, i.e. Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. Now, Sanders has been consistently linked to New York. He's a really good passer, man. He just is. But the culture in New York City, it's a lot. You know, whether it's the Jets with Aaron Rodgers or Danny Dimes for the last 4 or 5 years, it's a big market. It's the biggest market not only in America, but possibly and probably even the whole world. And so I look at Shedeur Sanders, and he's just got that it factor. He's just got that swag about him. Maybe he's not generational, but I do believe he will be, especially like with his work ethic, the foundations he has. I truly think this is the guy for the New York Giants. He's 23 years old. He's 6'2", 215 pounds. He's coming from Colorado with the Buffaloes, but before that, he played 2 seasons with his dad at Jackson State. But this past season in 2024, he led the Colorado Buffaloes to a 9-4 record, which was their best finish since 2016. He was also named Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year and finished 8th in Heisman voting. And one of my favorite things about him, and why I don't really understand why people think he's going to be a bust or overrated, is he's a really accurate passer. Very accurate passer. He finished 2024 with the 3rd highest accuracy rate and the 5th lowest rate of uncatchable throws in entire college football. In fact, going with PFF here, his 94.8 PFF passing grade on deep attempts, which is 20 or more air yards, ranks 4th in this year's draft class. Now, one of the big hurdles that he had to face in his last 2 years with Colorado is they have no offensive line, just no offensive line. It was a little bit better, and that speaks volumes this past season, but they say this, you'll see, all right, it's Saturday, so college football, Colorado plays on Saturday, Shedeur Sanders does his thing, they win or lose, doesn't matter, people are talking about it on Monday. But unless you're watching Colorado play, that offensive line's brutal. So he's playing under constant pressure. And even when the pressure wasn't there, it led him to bailing out of clean pockets early on. But despite playing with a really rocky offensive line, he did a phenomenal job at avoiding turnovers. And that's a huge name of the game in the NFL professional level. But Sanders actually faced the most dropbacks under pressure in the FBS, nearly 20 more than the second highest total. Now, despite being under constant pressure, he didn't turn the ball over. 1.3% turnover worthy play rate ranks third amongst draft eligible quarterbacks, and under pressure, that number only rises to 2.5. So that would place him eighth in the college football class. He's awesome at preventing bad plays just turning into absolute and utter disaster. A lot of quarterbacks panic under constant duress. Honestly, Shedeur remains relatively cool, calm, and composed. But I did want to throw this in here because I was reading an article on PFF, and they went through a Giants 7-round mock draft. And I don't hate it because I think Travis Hunter is going to be a really good player. But as we get closer, I just want to make this take out there. I want to get this take out there because this happens every single year. I see way too many mocks of Travis going 1. I see way too many mocks of Abdul going number 1. I see way too many mock drafts of guys not named Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders going 1 or 2. That's probably going to be the way it goes. I really think the Giants would be down to trade up to pick number 2. I don't think it's going to cost an absolute haul. And I do think that's something your GM would be willing to do because it's getting hot in that building. A lot of seats are on that hot seat. All right. It's getting toasty over in New York, even though it's February. All right. So in this mock draft, they drafted Travis Hunter out of Colorado at pick number 3. Unbelievable athlete. In 2024, especially defensive back, in 2024, he allowed just 25 receptions on 47 targets while recording 5 interceptions and forced an incompletion rate of 21.3%. And then if you were curious on how the rest of that mock draft went, I'll just kind of go through what they had. You guys do have a really good round 2 pick, number 32 overall. I'm a Notre Dame biased fan, so keep that in mind. You got Xavier Watts, safety out of Notre Dame, coming in at pick number 34. This dude has back-to-back 7 interception seasons at Notre Dame. Just high IQ football player. He earned an 89.3 coverage grade, which was the second amongst all safeties in this year's draft class. And then just for further example, because I want to talk about the last pick I grabbed from it. Round 3, pick number 5. I'm still struggling with this guy's name. Jonah Savanea out of Arizona. He's a tackle. Really like that. Giants got to figure out the tacklers. Just more offensive line talent and depth, honestly. Round 4, pick number 103, you got cornerback Noel Williams out of California. And then finally, what I wanted to talk about, even as a biased Notre Dame fan, this mock draft has you in the round 4 drafting Riley Leonard. Now, I'm not Colin Cowherd. I don't think he's the next coming to Josh Allen. I think he'll be a fine backup QB in the National Football League when he needs to be. But even if it means getting Travis Hunter in New York, man, I'm still going Shedeur Sanders every day of the week. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. And yeah, guys, let me know what you're doing with pick number 3 down below. Peace.